Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I am very excited to speak with two gentlemen here. I am here with Jay Shin and Kwang Hoon of Blocko. How are you two gentlemen doing today?
Great. So just a little clarification. I'm from Blocko and Ergo, as you know. This is Jay Shin, and I'd like to introduce our Blocko XYZ, the subsidiary of Blocko, who has the ownership of the CCCV.to NFT service that's been in the news and been really wildly popular in Korea. So, Kyung-hoon, like to introduce yourself?
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 블로코 XYZ 대표이사 김경훈이라고 합니다. 저는 CCCV NFT라는 플랫폼을 개발하고 있고 아르고 블록체인 위에서 아르고 생태계를 좀 활발하게 확대시키기 위해서 노력하고 있습니다.
So Kyung-hoon's English is not very well, so I will be translating throughout our AMA today. So basically, Kyung-hoon is the CEO of Blocko XYZ, and they've been doing the NFT, and it's kind of a B2B2C model where they have corporate customers as well as a B2C model that they go directly to the consumers for the NFTs. So all of the NFTs are on the Ergo platform, and they're one of the biggest NFT generators on our Ergo platform.
And that's amazing news. And that actually leads us to our first question surrounding the intricacies and updates of NFTs specifically. So are there any updates that can be shared around NFTs for creators specifically?
블로코 XYZ에서는 한국 이외에 다른 언어를 위한 NFT 플랫폼을 기획하고 있습니다. 윤곽이 좀 드러나는 대로 공개하도록 할게요. 그리고 코리안 블록체인 위크 시즌에 한국에 오실 계획이 있으신 분들을 위해서 좀 다양한 선물들을 만나보실 수 있게 준비하고 있습니다.
And I will translate that. So we're planning an NFT platform for creators in Korea, as well as other languages for other regions. We will disclose it to some extent as soon as the outline is revealed. And also, we have plans to exhibit at the Korea Blockchain Week in August. And you are all invited. If you come to Korea, there will be a special gift for you that they prepared.
That's amazing. I love how proactive this concept is in the NFT ecosystem, where you're going to have multitudes of different languages, NFT platforms for creators in Korea, and also other languages, amalgamating different cultural expressions through language together, amalgamating different artists together through the power of language. And I think it's amazing that you're also going to be involved in Korean Blockchain Week. So, and giving back to the community is also very fantastic as well. And we appreciate what you're doing, because right now in a bear market, it's paramount to acknowledge that there are blockchain companies out there that are still working hard, that are not fazed by price movements, that are not fazed by the valuation of a specific token or what has transpired in blockchain over the last 2-3 months, unfortunately. So on the topic of NFTs, so Spoon Radio audio live streaming platform signed an MOU with Blocko XYZ CCCV for NFT distribution. CCCV is powered by Ergo. Spoon Radio app has 10 million downloads. What does this mean for the Ergo ecosystem as a whole?
이거는 아르고 블록체인 생태계의 현실의 영역이 더욱 확장된다는 것을 의미합니다. 이건 NFT 프로젝트를 위한 NFT가 아니고 현실에서 이미 성과가 있는 거대한 비즈니스들이 블록체인으로 옮겨오는 하나의 움직임입니다. 이는 대기업들이 블로크 등 블록체인 기업에 기술 투자를 하는 것을 통해서도 볼 수 있습니다. 블록체인을 위한 프로젝트는 견디기 어려울 것이고 현실의 산업들이랑 협업하는 프로젝트들만 같이 있게 될 겁니다.
So this means that real business ecosystem are now expanding into the Ergo ecosystem. This is not just an NFT project to create small NFTs. Spoon Radio is a huge, successful offline, off-blockchain company moving into the blockchain. Another example is large companies investing in blockchain companies like Blocko. Blockchain companies that cater only to blockchain projects will find it hard to survive in this market. But projects that collaborate with real life industries will be the ones that will succeed.
I absolutely agree. Real life industries, that's the key phrase here. Real life industries will be the ones that will allow these companies to succeed. We're seeing a macroeconomic environment right now that is very troubling. This is not just an issue in the West, but this is also an issue in the East as well. We are seeing inflation at 40-year high in some some areas. Unfortunately, it is at all-time highs. We're seeing global food shortages. We're seeing a possible global recession very, very soon. And it's paramount to understand that companies like Blocko, that Blocko XYZ, that are creating real life connections in not only blockchain, but traditional enterprises as well. And this is how blockchain projects survive, is by garnering connections outside of blockchain, because it's very difficult to say what's going to happen during this bear market. What companies are going to survive? What companies are going to thrive? These are legitimate questions. And it would be a very audacious move to only stay within the blockchain sphere instead of garnering outside influences and outside partnerships. Now, on that topic with global economic fallout, how has Blocko XYZ been able to adapt to the economic fallout that is occurring around the world? With a possible global recession on the horizon and the worst cryptocurrency bear market in history actively occurring, how has Blocko XYZ been able to adapt to this?
이미 1년 정도의 매크로 문제는 사실 여기 계신 모든 분들에게 예상됐던 부분이라고 할 수 있죠. 일단 저는 몇몇 제너레이티브 아트의 가치가 분명히 있다고 생각합니다. 하지만 과거 NFT 시장은 자전 거래와 프로젝트 복제를 통해서 가치를 늘려온 부분이 존재하고 그래서 매크로 영향을 더 많이 받는 중이라고 보고 있습니다. 그리고 지금까지 NFT는 버블을 만들어서 ROI에서 리턴을 키워가면서 버텨왔습니다. 하지만 블로크 XYZ는 기존 NFT 시장의 문법과 조금 다르게 접근하고 있죠. 그래서 지금 비어맞게 돼서 피해갈 수 있는 상황에 있습니다. 큰 기업들과 협업하고 기업이 원하는 기능을 제공하고 기업의 투자 비용을 낮추는 데 집중하고 있고, 그로 인해서 NFT를 도입하는 기업은 기꺼이 XYZ에 비용을 지불하고 NFT 기술을 사용하고 있습니다. ROI에서 I를 좀 낮추고 있다고 생각하면 될 것 같아요. 근데 매크로가 불안해진 이후에 블로크 XYZ는 오히려 성장을 가속하고 있고 캐피탈적인 부분도 미리 대비하였습니다. 그래서 저희는 이 비어 마켓에는 기회가 있다고 보고 있고, 모두가 투자를 줄이고 생존에 집중하고 있을 때 블로크 XYZ가 오히려 높은 성과를 달성할 수 있는 기회라고 생각합니다.
So the macro problem for Blocko for everyone here has been expected for a year now. First, I feel that the generative art are worth the value. But in the past, NFT market was about self-transaction and cloning. So it is believed that the macro was being affected a lot. And so far, NFT market has endured by creating bubbles and growing ROI. But Blocko XYZ is taking a different approach to avoid the bear market. The Blocko XYZ is focusing on delivering NFT capabilities that help their business and lowering the investment costs so that companies that adopt NFT are willing to pay for it and use Blocko XYZ solutions. Think of it as lowering the I in ROI. Companies are benefiting from real life NFT use cases. After the macro became unstable, Blocko XYZ accelerated its growth and prepared capital in advance. I believe there is an opportunity in this bear market, as when everyone is focusing on reducing investment and survival, I am confident that Blocko XYZ will achieve higher performance.
it's very important for our viewers to realize one crucial statement. Not you should analyze all these statements, but one thing that stood out to me about Blocko XYZ is this forward-thinking concept. After the macro became unstable, Blocko XYZ accelerated its growth and prepared capital in advance. Not to mention the fact this was anticipatory for Blocko and Blocko XYZ. I can't say the same for many other companies. I can't say the same for a lot of investors within the blockchain sphere and the companies thereof. That forward-thinking analysis is crucial to survive economic fallout. This is something that we've seen in the past where companies did not expect economic fallout. Company that comes in mind is Lehman Brothers. And we saw that company collapse because of economic fallout. To relate that to Blocko XYZ, Blocko XYZ is making strides, and Blocko's making strides to utilize the bear market to their advantage, not create an environment where they are disadvantaged because of economic fallout. Where the bear market comes, there's opportunity. That's absolutely true, and that cannot be overstated. This is where real companies shine. These are where real companies thrive. These are where Ponzi schemes and other cryptocurrency and blockchain companies that are illegitimate or don't have the same audaciousness or the capital collapse. It's a sense of economic natural selection. And I'm confident that Blocko and Blocko XYZ is taking advantage of this wholeheartedly and will survive and thrive once this macroeconomic fallout and collapse, I dare say, is resolved. So now to segue to create a relation between Blocko XYZ and Ergo. What is the relation between Blocko XYZ and Ergo in terms of the development of GemPay?
사실 이제 젠페이는 블로코 XYZ가 아닌 블로코 제품인데요. 그래서 제가 다 알고 있지는 못하지만은 젠페이는 아르고 커넥트와는 좀 다르게 C 파이까지 확장을 목표로 만들어지고 있는 월렛으로 알고 있습니다. 그리고 블로코 XYZ는 현재 아르고 결제를 젠페이를 통해 처리하는 걸 기대하고 있고요. 그리고 사실 이더리움 네트워크의 ERC 베이스 토큰은 수수료가 너무 비싸서 결국 저희는 아르고 네이티브 기반의 결제 처리가 좀 필수적으로 필요한데요. 젠페이가 좀 이런 문제를 해결해주고 아르고 결제를 지금보다 훨씬 부드럽게 처리해줄 수 있을 것으로 좀 생각하고 있습니다.
So, as everyone knows, GemPay is Blocko's product, not Blocko XYZ. So, I don't know everything that's in terms of Kyungwon saying. But unlike Ergo Connect, it is a wallet that's made with the goal of expanding CeFi. Blocko XYZ is looking forward to processing the current Ergo payment through GemPay. ERC-based tokens on Ethereum network is expensive, so we need to process payments based on native Ergo. And we expect GemPay to handle these issues much better and smoothly than Ergo payments that we have now today. So as in Blocko, we are working on GemPay so that GemPay can be the wallet that provides smooth transactions on platforms like CCCB.
And that's great to hear. It's great to hear that Blocko XYZ is perpetuating this paradigm of a synergistic relationship between Blocko XYZ and Ergo, which actually segues into my next question. For those who may not be aware, people in the community, what is the relationship between Blocko XYZ and Ergo? And how is Blocko XYZ adding value to the Ergo ecosystem?
짧게 말씀드리자면은 블로코 XYZ는 아르고 블록체인을 이용해서 NFT 플랫폼을 구축하고 있습니다. 좀 더 자세히 말씀드리자면 NFT에 대한 표준도 제한하고 있고 또 제한한 부분을 아르고 생태계에 적용하고 있습니다. 이를 통해서 블로코 XYZ는 성공적인 NFT 비즈니스를 운영하고 아르고 생태계는 생태계 활성화와 표준을 통한 프로토콜 경제를 얻게 될 겁니다.
So in short, Blocko Blocko XYZ is building NFT platform using Ergo blockchain, so the ERC2 standard. More specifically, we are proposing NFT standards, and we're also contributing to the Ergo ecosystem. Through this, Blocko XYZ will run a successful NFT business, and Ergo will gain protocol economy through ecosystem activations and standards. And a lot of the advancements in the Ergo NFT has been brought on by Blocko XYZ is trial and error and looking at how consumers use NFT and how it proliferates and how businesses would like to use it. So there's been a lot of contribution in terms of technology from Blocko XYZ, not only in terms of just using that standard, but also contributing towards better of that standard.
And that's very important because we need NFT standards. NFT standards are still, NFTs in the pure form are still in their infancy. They have not been around for a while, and we really haven't, we only saw the NFT boom in the last, I would dare say, year and a half or so. So creating those standards is paramount for a successful NFT business and a business model per se. And the fact that Ergo will gain protocol economy through activities and standards shows that Blocko XYZ is synergistically involved in the success of Ergo and the economic value of Ergo. So let me ask you this then. What is Blocko XYZ's plan for next year, or the next biggest plan in accordance with Ergo?
최근 이더리움 재단의 비탈릭이 SBT라고 소울본 토큰이라고 하는 거래가 되지 않는 NFT에 대해서 발표한 적이 있는데요. 이런 부분이 좀 주목을 받고 있는데 제 눈에는 이러한 거래가 되지 않는 인증과 검증을 위한 NFT는 금융이나 STO 이슈에서 훨씬 자유롭기 때문에 더 빠르게 확산 가능하고 동시에 어설픈 좀 가치가 없는 GIF나 JPG 파일을 가지고 워시 세일을 하는 이제 폭탄 프로젝트보다 훨씬 이 세상을 바꾸는 좋은 기술로 보입니다. 저희는 한 몇 년 전부터, 한 2년 전부터 이런 가능성에 주목한 유일한 프로젝트였고, NFT 이런 배지 기능을 활용해서 많은 인플루언서들이 저희를 신뢰해주고 있습니다. 올해는 좀 이러한 기능들을 확장해서 좀 더 많은 사용자들이 블록체인 기술의 이점을 누리고 실제 세상에 이제 영향을 미칠 수 있는 제품을 여러분들에게 이제 딜리버리하는 게 목표입니다.
So recently, Vitalik from Ethereum Foundation drew attention by announcing a non-tradable NFT called Soulbound Token, SBT, which is ER1238 or the ERC4973 protocol. In my eyes, NFTs for authentication and verification are free from financial and security issues. So proliferation of these new NFT will be more rapid than those GIF or JPEG-based NFTs that have explosive ups and downs. And it's thought to be more world-changing technology than those GIF and JPEG technology, NFTs. Blocko XYZ has been the only company that has been in line with this technology for the past 2 years and have secured the trust of many influencers by utilizing the NFT badge function. This year, the goal is to expand these capabilities to deliver products and that allow more users to benefit from blockchain technology and impact the real world.
I like when I hear that a company has been actively involved in a new ecosystem since basically the ecosystem's inception for the past 2 years. And prior to this, the NFT boom has really only occurred over the last, I don't know, year and a half, maybe two and a half, pushing it. And to be able to be part of the inception of this boom plays a vital role in the public trust of influencers that want to work with a specific enterprise that has experience in blockchain and NFTs as well. And also it's very important to understand that these NFTs are not just JPEGs with monkeys that look like monkeys that are going up and down in valuation at an extraordinary rate. NFTs have a legitimate value prospect with authentication, with verification, with with personal patents and copyright material. And I recently heard about this as well with soulbound token, and it's very interesting because it goes to show that one of the most well-known individuals in blockchain sees validation in NFTs in a real world scenario, rather than just trading art that has a massive influx of users, but then unfortunately those users, when the bear market comes, they unfortunately lose massive valuation in in the NFTs that they bought. So let me ask you this about Argo. How is Argo positioned in the overall strategy of Blocko XYZ?
많은 NFT 사용자들이 이더리움을 레이어 1으로 쓰고 있고 폴리곤이나 클레이튼 등 다른 블록체인을 이제 레이어 2 기술로 수수료 절감을 위해 쓰는 게 다들 이제 익숙해져 있는데요. 아르고의 가장 강력한 장점은 저는 이걸 이제 레이어 1.5라고 생각하는데 굳이 이더리움을 벗어나지 않고서도 기업 환경과 이더리움을 기반으로 하는 크립토 환경을 연결하는 좀 강력한 확장성을 보장한다는 걸 저는 아르고의 강력한 장점으로 보고 있습니다. 굳이 이제 이더리움을 버릴 필요가 없는 거죠. 실제로 많은 프로젝트들이 CCCB에서 이더리움과 아르고 기반 NFT를 동시에 스위칭하면서 사용하고 있고 저희는 이러한 방법으로 시장을 장악해 나가는 게 목표입니다.
So many NFT users are accustomed to using Ethereum as layer 1 and layer 2 technologies such as Polygon and Clayton to reduce fees. Ergo's most powerful advantage, in my perspective, I think I call it layer 1.5, is that it ensures strong scalability that connects the enterprise environment with the Ethereum-based crypto environment without having to leave Ethereum. So what that means is Ergo can seamlessly connect and interoperate between private, public, and Ethereum blockchains for NFT. In fact, many projects use Ethereum and Ergo-based NFT while switching at the same time in CCCV, and our goal is to dominate the market this way.
That's amazing to hear, because I like how you highlight that many NFT users are accustomed to using Ethereum. Ethereum is the most congested network and the most used network, especially in regards to NFTs. And I like how you put the layer 1.5 scenario. You don't hear that. You usually hear layer 0, layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. But I like how Argo seems to be positioned as this brand new model, this hybrid model between layer 1 and layer 2 that allows for the onboarding and interoperability between private, public, and Ethereum blockchains. This is very important because it allows for seamless interaction between Ethereum protocols in regards to NFTs. So I think that's incredible. I think that's a really, really amazing way of putting it. I like the layer 1.5 analogy. I think it's very important. Now, let me ask you this. In a bear market, it's sometimes difficult to onboard investors and new users because of trepidation in the market, loss of capital, loss of trust, loss of forward vision. And this is something that we see as a ubiquity. This is not nearly anything exclusive to Ergo or anything like that. This is just a ubiquity, a universality throughout cryptocurrency and blockchain as of this moment right now, especially in the macroeconomic structure that we haven't seen since Bitcoin was conceived. Will there be a push to onboard new external implementation partners for Ergo?
이미 이제 많은 세일즈 케이스들이 저희가 준비 중인데 저희는 이제 B2C 서비스이기 때문에 이미 많은 인플루언서 분들이 저희 CCCB를 저희도 이제 모르는 사이에 좀 쓰고 계시거든요. 이런 많은 인플루언서와 콘텐츠 크리에이터들이 더 쉽게 우리 제품을 쓸 수 있게 하는 게 저희가 가장 집중하고 있는 일입니다. 이번 AMA에 좀 아르고를 더 푸시해달라는 요청이 많이 있었는데 제가 답변을 못 드린 큰 이유 중에 하나는 저희는 아르고는 이더리움 오픈소스를 포킹해서 수수료를 낮추고 마케팅 비용을 투입해서 포머를 만드는 그런 프로젝트가 아닙니다. 제가 2014년부터 이제 블로코에서 근무했었는데 그때 만든 저희의 코인스택 같은 제품을 사용하면 저희도 이제 비트코인이나 이더리움 기반으로 이런 프로젝트를 무수히 많이 만들 수 있었을 거거든요. 하지만 이제 그렇게 하지 않고 이제 아르고 연구 개발에 저희 역량을 집중한 이유는 기업 환경에 퍼블릭 블록체인의 도입이 필요할 때 진짜로 필요한 쓰는 기능들은 코인 프로젝트의 이제 우선 고려 대상이 아니었습니다. 이러한 ICO 프로젝트 중에 이제 뭐 예를 들면 루나테라가 마주했던 것처럼 위기 상황이 발생했을 때 처음 취해야 하는 이제 조치인 이제 무상 감자 같은 게 구현 가능한 프로젝트가 몇 개나 있을까요?
So there are countless sales cases in place, and we are a B2C service. So amazing people are already using CCCB without even us knowing it. Our focus is on making it easier for many of these influencers and content creators to use our product. There were a lot of requests to push for Ergo on AMA, but the biggest reason I couldn't do that is that it's not a project where it's all about forking Ethereum open source, lowering fees, and putting money into making FOMO. I've been working at Blocko since 2014, and if we use a product, the product that we had back then, CoinStack, and we would have been able to create a number of these projects based on Bitcoin or Ethereum. However, the reason why we focused our capabilities on Ergo R&D was that we wanted to develop blockchain capabilities that corporate customers would realistically use. But unfortunately, this is not the priority of many of the other coin projects. How many of these ICO projects as Luna Terra Phase has faced, how many of these ICO projects as Luna Terra Phase has faced that are there any projects that can implement the first step in the event of a crisis, such as capital reduction without refunding?
It's definitely a legitimate question. Yeah. It's definitely a legitimate question. And that's very important that you bring that up. And you brought up Luna Terra because it seems like, which is a little bit ridiculous to me, that the whole collapse of Luna Terra has just become a blip on the radar when it was arguably one of the biggest collapses in cryptocurrency history. And no one's talking about this. It's very, very rare where people are discussing how the cryptocurrencies that are in the top 20, top 30, that rise in valuation doesn't necessarily mean that they have a legitimate utility or R&D backing them to a point where they can survive more than a year and a half, 2 years if a bear market comes. You're seeing this also in centralized finance with other cryptocurrency projects that are possibly insolvent. I'm not going to name any names, but there are numerous CeFi products right now in cryptocurrency that are on the verge of collapse, many venture capital firms, and all these different cryptocurrency projects, they're on the verge of collapse, which is creating a broader problem in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. And that's why I'm appreciative that Argo is taking its time with research and development. It's not just creating FOMO. It's not just creating a moon boy model. And that's why a lot of these projects that I think that skyrocketed in this bull run will not be here for the next. And Terra Luna being one of them is a perfect example because you don't have that model where R&D sets precedent. And unfortunately, we're in such an infantile market that people only care about price upward mobility. And I understand that, you know, everyone's in cryptocurrency to make money and they care about the technology as well. I mean, this is a given fact. Anybody who said it who doesn't agree with that is, I think, a liar. But at the same time, it's very important to create a space that is innovative and can actually survive. It is not just a blip on a historical radar where historians 100 years from now say it was a failed experiment. That's very important. You don't want to see blockchain become a failed experiment because too many companies refuse to do R&D, research and development, and as a result, you have a majority of failing projects. Now, on the topic of economic fallout and on topic of crypto winter, and especially this bear market that's going on right now, we know that South Korea is one of the blockchain hubs of the world. It's one of the largest cryptocurrency user bases on the planet. There's no question about that. Now, what is Blocko XYZ's strategy for a crypto winter? And how is the economic situation in Korea impacting Blocko?
다른 NFT 프로젝트와는 다르게 저희는 NFT 보증서나 멤버십, 인증 배지와 같은 실물 경제와 좀 강한 연결고리를 가지고 있는 기존의 서버 기반 IT 제품들과 비교해도 가격 경쟁력이 있는 NFT 프로젝트들을 주로 추진해오고 있습니다. 재미있는 부분은 루나 사태 이전의 거래량과 지금의 저희 플랫폼 거래량은 많은 차이가 없습니다. 더 재밌는 거는 저희가 지난 2년 동안 가입한 사용자보다 지난 2, 4분기에 가입한 가입자 수가 훨씬 더 많습니다. 제가 좋아하는 말 중에 물이 빠지면 누가 발가벗고 수영을 하고 있었는지 알 수 있다라는 말이 있는데요. 지금 상황에서 말씀드릴 수 있을 것 같습니다.
So unlike other NFT projects, we have mainly promoted NFT projects that are price competitive compared to traditional server-based IT products with strong connection to the real economy, such as NFT warranties, membership, and certification badges. Interestingly, there is little difference between the trading volume before the Luna crisis and our platform trading volume now. What's funnier is that we have more subscribers in the last 2 quarters than we have had in the last 2 years. One of my favorite phrases is, it's only when the tide goes out that you discover who's been swimming naked. I think I can tell you in this situation, it's very appropriate.
Very appropriate. I absolutely agree with you. You need to figure out who is really trustworthy in this crypto environment, in this macroeconomic collapse, where there are companies that won't come out of this, especially in blockchain, in such a volatile space, where really a lot of these token models are subpar at best, and the only thing that's hyping them up is pure speculative investors. That's it. And I see Blocko XYZ and Blocko being around for so long and having the expertise in private and public enterprise blockchain solutions, being a company that thrives even if you have economic fallout, if this crypto bear market gets worse, even if this crypto bear market is extremely long. No one knows when it'll end. And that's just a given fact. Nobody knows. But the main prospect, the main point is to continue to build. And that's what I think Blocko XYZ and Blocko continues to do. And I want to say this was a very transparent and very upfront day. And I want to thank both of you gentlemen for coming on today and having this discussion about Blocko and Blocko XYZ and the synergistic relationship with Ergo, and being able to be concise, but extremely, extremely transparent on how a company such as Blocko can survive economic fallout in a very new space. So I want to thank you both gentlemen for all the work that you're doing for Blocko and Blocko XYZ, and also Ergo. And I really appreciate speaking to both of you today.
Yeah, Corey, thank you for moderating this AMA. Just wanted to add that, crypto winter seems to not affect the corporate world right now. I think a lot of the corporate customers that we deal with aren't really interested in the crypto crisis. Rather, they look at NFT as a new form of couponing, or a new form of a movie ticket, or a non-fungible way of transacting goods that they haven't been able to do before. And I feel bad for those projects who could not survive through this because they weren't ready to really create tangible technology that could be used in everyday offline world, the real world, right? And what we see at Blocko today is that, you know, the corporations are just getting started in understanding NFT and how to use it in their current, you know, marketing environment. So when you look at Blocko getting the recent 5 billion Korean won in investment from the, you know, the Lotte Group, you know, you haven't seen those large conglomerate companies investing in blockchain companies. I mean, you know, it's amazing that, you know, they have the foresight and they want to integrate NFT into every aspect of their business. And they see that. They see how valuable that can be. You know, if you look at, you know, Pokemon, it was a game that kids played many, many, many years ago. But you look at Pokemon today, it proliferated through every, you know, consumer packaging goods, and it ties in everything together, right? And, you know, one of the things is that, you know, there's a Pokemon bread that they sell at the convenience store here, and there's a little Pokemon card inside. Can't find it, you know, in any of the stores, but they use that vehicle to drive customers into the convenience store that would procure or buy other goods along with that. So, you know, the marketing tactics that the corporations are using today sees NFT as another tool, another new innovative tool that they can use to drive more consumer demand for their goods. So I'm really glad, and, you know, I'm really, you know, one of the generations that really didn't understand, like, NFT, you know, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a picture. But I do understand the value of how NFTs could be used for, you know, doing coupons or points or you know, event tickets, and content creator. I think that's one of the most compelling thing is that, you know, while you have these premium based subscription services that you know, Patreon or OnlyFans or those kind of things that this content creator can use to gain income, but to sell content and have some type of royalty mechanism. And I think, you know, CCCV created NFTs that these content creators can produce a short video segment, and when one NFT buyer sells it to another NFT buyer, the proceeds doesn't just go from one owner to the next owner. It actually, royalty percentage could be written into a smart contract so that the purchasing transaction, part of that fund goes back to the content creator. And I thought, you know, those type of transactions is, you know, what, you know, if you look at how SAG and AFTRA are done for US actors, this is done through smart contract, through actual content. So it's amazing what we can do with technology today. And, you know, I think more and more content creators and businesses and corporations are going to realize the real value, the utility value of NFT. And, you know, Blocko XYZ, Blocko, we are rightly positioned to be there to provide that service for them. So, you know, all on Ergo platform, and that is something that I believe a lot of other developing companies are going to take note of what we do on Ergo and try to do the same on the platform. And as a foundation, you know, my other hat as a foundation member, we will help them and incubate them and get this industry as a whole, you know, much broader and bigger. And, you know, Blocko and Blocko XYZ can't do it all. And, you know, it's only natural that the industry is created around this. And that's what, you know, I am very hopeful that will happen. And I thank our CEO of Blocko XYZ, a subsidiary company, for coming on this AMA this morning. Absolutely. And thank you, Corey, for hosting another great AMA.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, gentlemen, both of you, for your time, and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.